Okay, so we're jumping right to this fly packet, please, that has all the diagrams in and on it. This will be very handy for you for reference as we go through. So please keep this close to on top, especially when you're gonna start your lab very soon. All right, we're gonna look at the flies first. So we already mentioned in the last packet some of the differences between male and female fruit flies. So the symbol for male, don't forget circle, arrow up. The symbol for female, circle with a cross down. Things about males, you can just see this. They are smaller in size. They have 3 stripes across their abdomen. The bottom of the abdomen is curved. The female is larger in size. She has a point at her abdomen, 5 to 7 stripes going down. Because they're smaller in stripes, she appears to be lighter in color. Some of the traits that we will be looking at when you go through your flies are going to be the shapes of the eyes. So a wild eye is a really big, large eye. If you remember having little bug eyes when you were a kid, the little plastic things you look through and it looked like a kaleidoscope, it's kind of how fruit flies see. An iris, a bar, kind of looks like a barcode, different shapes. These are usually the ones that we can see more easily. Bristles. This is what their little hairs on their chinny chin looks like. So wild type fly, fairly good in bristles. Again, we typically don't use these because they're a little more difficult to see for your first time at looking at flies, but know that it is a trait that we look at. Wing phenotypes are going to be big for us. A wild type wing is fairly large and it overlaps. Miniature wings, you can see they're much tinier. Dumpy wings have a little V to the end of them. Vestigial wings, barely there. Curly wings have a little curve up. These little flies kind of do loop-de-loops. Wrinkled, they look like they've gotten wet and they're all kind of crunched up. Scalloped are bigger with a scalloped edge on the edge. Apterous, A, the prefix not, no wings at all. And Ducati is off to the sides as opposed to overlapping. The Ducati fly has a lethal gene attached to it. If you are a pure Ducati fly, you will die. Notice also the sizes of the letters, lowercase, 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 lowercase. These are recessive. Curly is dominant, wrinkled is dominant, Ducati is dominant to the wild type fly. So again, for reference. The next page of the packet, and I think yours is going to look better than mine does. We'll see if we can zoom in here a little bit for you. Terms that you will need to know. This little tongue-like structure, it is a tube-like structure. It is called the proboscis. If you've ever seen a bee or something land on a soda, they stick out this little tube and they start feeling around with it. This is how they suck in their food. This was also in the meiosis square dance, the little trumpety thing, that was the actual proboscis. The arista, so this is arista. These are sensors, so they are like little feelers off the ends of the antenna. They have antenna, they have antennules. The ocilla are the lenses of the eye. So each of these is like a little hexagon-y kind of shape, and then this gives you that bug eye look. Other things that you should be familiar with. Down the sides of a fruit fly, you probably wouldn't be able to see this, are something called the spiracles. These are little breathing holes. This is how insects get their air in and out of their bodies. Sometimes you'll see some larger insects kind of puffing up, and that puffing up is pulling oxygen and air in. Under the wings, there's this little drumstick-like structure. It's called a haltere, and it helps with navigation. So it's like a rudder if you have ever gone sailing or boating. And then surrounding the whole entire fly is a cuticle. It's a waxy coating. It kind of prevents it from getting wet. Really, it's going to let water run off of it. On male flies only, they have something known as sex combs. They are going to allow for the male fly to wrap around and then grasp onto the abdomen of the female. Obviously, for the purpose of mating, it allows them to hang on while they are mating so that they, in fact, can procreate. On the belly side of the fly, so you may or may not see spiracles down the side. They're pretty tiny, doubtful you will see them. We have the female fly over here, so she has a little vaginal plate. On the male fly, he does have a penis. It is internal. When the two flies are together, The male's penis will fit into the vaginal plate and vaginal opening, and fertilization will be internal. Again, at the collegiate level, you'll look at the venation of the wings. We really just don't have the time to do this. These last 2 pages are kind of important to you for a variety of reasons. Here are the 8 chromosomes of a fruit fly. So you can see they go from larger to very, very small. They are in 4 pairs, and they've been mapped. So there is a genome project for the fruit fly. They have 8 very large chromosomes called polytene chromosomes, and you can see at each location, so we talked about the centrioles and where they held things together and how different things are numbered along these chromosomes so scientists can talk to each other about them. I actually prefer the next one better because it has 1, 2, 3, 4, the 4 chromosomes, but it allows you to see the symbols. If it is a lowercase, then it is recessive to the dominant or to an uppercase dominant trait. So you can go here as reference. I've tried to star and highlight some that you might see fairly frequently, and that should give you enough background information to do what's coming up next, which will be how to do a fruit fly genetics problem.